Hi everybody, this is Lisa, your Warren County Community College librarian. This video is going to cover how to use the Warren County Community College databases. So to get to the databases, you start out on the main Warren County Community College webpage, and you go to the library link all the way on the right hand side, and it's going to go open up the library's webpage. So you're going to want to look for the tab that says Library Online Resources, and that's where the databases are located. So you just have to click on the tab, and it's going to bring up our databases. So here you have access to three different database services. The first one is EBSCO Discovery Service. It's our largest database. It has articles that cover every subject area that you're going to need while you're a student at Warren County Community College. This is also where you need to go if you're told to find peer-reviewed resources, scholarly resources, academic journals. That is an indication that your professor or your instructor wants you to use EBSCO. The other database here is Bloom's Literature Database. It's a very small database, just literature based, and you don't need to use a separate link because now it is also available through EBSCO. The final database is Gale Interactive Human Anatomy. This is a great database if you're studying, well, you know, A&P, any pre-nursing, medical classes, things like that, because as a study tool, it gives you 3D images of the body and its various systems so you can see how it all works together and comes together. And it will even give you like little lessons about whatever it is you're studying and read those out loud to you. So this is great as a study resource for those classes. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this first database, the EBSCO Discovery Service. And the name right here is a clickable link. So you click on the link, and it's going to take you to a sign-in page. Everybody has to sign into the databases, even me. So your username is going to be the same username that you use to log into your student email, the Wi-Fi on campus back when we were on campus, the library or the campus computers and the library printers. So it's going to be your first initial last name. It will never be your ID number. That is the ID login where you put in your ID number is for My Warren. It is not for the databases or your email or anything like that. So first initial last name and then your password for that account. So that's the password you use to get into your student email. If you have never changed that password or if you've never used this account, your password starts out as your 2-digit month of birth, 2-digit day of birth, last 4 of your social security number. If you have changed that password at any point in time, then it'll be whatever password you changed it to. If you have problems logging in, you can always contact IT and they can help you with that. You can email them at support@warren.edu, and they work regular business hours, you know, Monday through Friday. So contact them and they will help you during those kinds of hours. All right. Once you have your username and password, you click login, and it's going to take you to a search box, just like you would have in Google. So this search box, you can go ahead and you want to use a keyword search, okay? So a keyword search is different from a search you would do like in Google. For example, you can't put in a full phrase, you can't put in a sentence or anything like that because that will not work for this keyword search. So let me show you really quick what that might look like. If we go to information literacy modules, go to needing information. Okay, and this is what we call research strategy when you are searching for keywords. So if this were the question you're trying to answer with your assignment, are children who play video games more likely to be violent? The keywords in this question are children, video games, and violent. So those are the words you want to use to search by. And on this demonstration, it calls it key concepts, but those are your keywords that you would use for a search. And then when you are doing a search, you can also play around a little bit with these keywords. So you can use the synonyms that mean the same thing as that keyword. So children could also be child, youth, kids. Video games could also be computer games, gaming, electronic games. And violent, you could also use violence, aggressive, antisocial behavior. Okay, so that shows you a little bit about how you can change up your search if you're not finding the correct kind of results or the results that you want. So for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to tell you my assignment is a sociology assignment where I'm going to look at the question, how have zombies impacted popular culture? Okay, so just the idea of zombies. I'm not saying they're real, I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying zombies, okay? Because a couple of years ago, it hit our pop culture pretty hard and we started having zombie races and things like that. So it's been pretty cool to watch. So I'm just gonna put in my keyword and I'm gonna hit enter. Now, my keywords could have been zombies and pulp culture, but for the purpose of this demonstration, I want to just show you how to take one keyword term, all right? And it should be kind of broad. It shouldn't be something too specific. If you search for something that's too specific, you're going to get fewer and fewer results, and you might not get exactly what you're looking for. At the same time, though, if you used a keyword that was too broad, you're going to get so many results that you're going to have a hard time getting through them. So back when we were on campus this semester, a lot of you had to do the journal article assignment for Soc and Psych and statistics. So when you were doing that article search, I was sitting down with one student who was telling me she was having a hard time searching for things and she wasn't finding anything helpful. So when I went to go sit down with her, as a keyword, she was using psychology. So obviously she was doing her article for psych class. She was using psychology as her keyword term. Now psychology is such a broad term and it encompasses so many different things that that term was way too specific. So I said, well, why don't we take psychology and break it down into an area of psychology that you're interested in or you've studied in class, because that was kind of the assignment. And so we found out what area she was interested in and we broke it down with keywords from there and we were able to find something for her. So again, your keyword should be broad but not too broad, and you also don't want it to be too narrow because that will affect the kind of results you get. So anyway, for my zombie search, I have about 50 or almost 58,000 articles. All right, so that's a lot of articles to go through. Now, as we look at the types of articles that are coming up, let's look at these real quick. So periodicals, in general, periodicals are not peer-reviewed. So if your assignment is to find peer-reviewed resources, periodicals or newspapers are not going to be the kind of things you want to look at. Ebooks. So while ebooks are great and very helpful, they also are not considered peer-reviewed. So periodical, ebook, periodical. Here's a great one because it's academic journal. Academic journals tend to be peer-reviewed. So that's great. That's exactly what I'm looking for. But I can do this in a way that's much easier. On the left-hand side of the screen, in this area that says that's called refine results, the first thing I see here is my current search. So it shows that I'm looking for the term zombie. It has these two things that are expanders, meaning that it will find things that wouldn't normally come up if I just put in zombies. One of them is that it's going to search within the full text of the articles. So sometimes when you're looking at an article and you're just looking at titles, the title might be misleading and not really have anything to do with what's in the article. So this is going to search the full text of the articles as well as the title of the articles and the keywords that the article is given. It also is going to apply equivalent subjects. So that's kind of like what we were talking about back here using the synonyms. Okay, it's going to use synonyms while it's searching, and then that's already in place for you. And under limiters, this is here available in library collection. This should always be here. This should never be undone or not in this area. If you do that, what's going to happen is you're going to get results that you don't actually have full access to. And that can be a problem when you're trying to research something that's due today if you don't have full access to what you're looking at. So this is my current search. Now, the next section is called Limit To. And this is an important area. So Limit To, the first box that I could check is catalog only. That's going to give me just physical resources that are available in the library's collection, which obviously right now, none of that is available to you because we can't be on campus. But the second one is the most important one. Scholarly peer-reviewed journals. So if you ever have a professor or instructor tell you that they want you to use scholarly resources, peer-reviewed resources, academic journals, they're telling you, maybe without telling you, that you need to look for articles in the databases. And if that's the case, you want to go ahead and click this box right here. And now it's going to make sure that your results are scholarly or peer-reviewed. And it's going to update our results. And now when we start out with 58,000 results, we have just a little over 7,000 results. And now look, they're all academic journals. All right, so that's great. This again is already in your limiter, so this should always be checked. Don't uncheck that. Now, I told you I was doing this assignment for a sociology class. A lot of areas, disciplines require you to look at recent research. So that means they don't want research going back to 1943. Generally, they want research from the last 5 years. So this is true for almost all sciences and soft sciences like sociology, psychology, criminal justice, and education. So I need to change this to reflect the time period I need to look at. So you just highlight the date in there and put in the new one, 2015 to 2020, so that's a 5-year range, and hit enter. And again, it's going to update my results. So now I went from 7,000 to 2,500, okay? So I'm breaking down this general keyword. I'm breaking it down further just by clicking a couple of things once I started my search. So the other way you can break it down even further now, because remember I wanted to look at zombies and pop culture, is to go to the subject area. So you click on subject, click underneath where it says show more, and these are going to bring up all the ways you can break down your search even more specifically into these sub areas. All right, so what you can do and what I like to do, you don't have to, but what I like to do is I want it to be alphabetical. I want the subjects to be alphabetical so that I can look through them. And so if you click on name, it'll give you these sub-subjects alphabetically. So I was looking for pop culture. Now here's one that's culture. So I'm going to pick that, but I'm going to keep looking. So you can pick multiple different things in here. So I picked culture and I wanted to look at pop culture. All right, so popular culture is here as well. So I can pick both of those and hit update. And now I'm down to 80 articles. Much fewer than what we started out with, much more manageable. And if you look over here, my current search box has gotten bigger as I've added more things. So I'm still searching for zombies. These haven't changed. I'm limiting my results to scholarly or peer-reviewed, and of course available in the library collection as well as published within the last 5 years. And I've broken down zombies into these subtopics of zombies in culture and pop culture. All right, so that's one way you can break down a general topic into something more specific within the databases, and you're doing it in a way that'll make it much more manageable than if you put something too specific up here. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So I have all these different results now. Zombies in Western culture, interesting. Anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and pick this article. Okay, because if I look at the subject area, it includes both zombies and popular culture, which is what I wanted to look at. So if you click on the title, it brings you to this page that is known as the detailed record page. And it tells you just about everything you need to know to be able to cite this, okay? Whether you're citing it in MLA or APA, this is the information that is relevant to citing this particular article. So on the left-hand side, you have a couple of different options. You can look at the HTML full text, which makes it look just like a web page, and what's on there is just the text of the article. Or I recommend always that if the PDF full text is available, you select PDF full text, and I'll show you why. So this will bring it up as a PDF full text. The nice thing about using the PDF is that it will give you the original page numbers. So when you're citing something in APA or MLA, and you're doing an in-text citation, you need to include page numbers. So this is really important that you know where that particular sentence or fact came from which page. So I always recommend using the HTML, or I mean, excuse me, the PDF full text. Now, once you found something that you like or you're interested in, what you should do is either download it, okay? So download it to your computer or your device or to a thumb drive or whatever you can do. Or on the left or the right-hand side is this toolbar, and you can save this article as a PDF to your Google Drive. Okay, so you click on it, it'll ask you to log into your Google Drive and to give EBSCO permission to save things on your Google Drive, and it will allow you to save the PDF files on your Google Drive, which is fantastic. The reason you need to save the article is because if you want to refer back to it, you should have it saved so that you have easy access to it. The other tools over here, this is the print button obviously for the tools over here, but I would recommend that you use the print button here. It's much more accessible. If you're going to print something, use this one right here because it'll print out the text exactly as it looks on here. This email function does not work. I mean, it will send you an email with a link to the article. However, that link might not work if you try to go back to it. So that's why I discourage people from emailing it to themselves. It's better just to go ahead and download the article and then copy and paste the citation into a Word document. You don't have to format it, but at least copy and paste it in there so that you have all that information. But we'll talk about that in a minute. This gold folder says add to folder. This does not work. So add to folder is for people who have individual subscription accounts to EBSCO. And at WCCC, we have an institutional subscription, which means that we don't have individual accounts for the students. We have one big account for the entire school. So you can add as much to this folder as you want. It's not going to be there when you go back. Okay, so just don't recommend you use it. Right here is, of course, the cite button, which I always call Willy Wonka's golden ticket. And when you click on it, it's going to give your citation for you depending on what kind of citation style you're using. So it's alphabetical by citation style. In psychology or sociology, excuse me, I would be using APA. So what I was talking about earlier is when you save the article, just open a Word document and copy and paste these, what is available for the citations right directly into that Word document. And then later on you can play around with it and change the formatting as you need to, add things to the citation or delete it if you don't want to use it. And then the same thing for MLA, it's right here. So I can tell you by looking at the APA citation though that this is not completely correct. So in APA, what the APA version we're using now, which will be updated in the fall, but what we're using now requires that if you have a citation from an internet source, you include a URL here where you put retrieved by and the URL. The other problem here is in APA, you don't capitalize every word or every major word in the title. You only capitalize the first word and then anything that is a proper noun. But none of these are proper nouns, except for if you have punctuation like there is here. Let me see, make that bigger for you. So this is a colon. After that, you would capitalize zombies, but everything else would be lowercase. And if you need a refresher on APA, there is a video for APA and same with MLA that I would refer you to watch those. This next is to export the citation into a citation compiler. And I'm going to assume that most of you do not have a citation compiler that you're working with, like, I'll show you some of the examples. Citave, EasyBib, EndNote, ProCite, Zotero. I'm assuming that most of you are not using this because you probably don't need it right now. So that's going to only export the citation to one of these specific programs. Now finally at the bottom is the permalink link, and this is great because you bring up the permalink and this is the link you want to use in your citation. Okay, so this is going to be a better link than using the link that's up here in this box for your URL up here. You want to try to use this one because it's just a better citation. and you need to include that for both APA and MLA. So this has been a quick introduction to the databases and how to search them. I hope it's been useful. As always, if you have any questions, you can email me at wccclibrary@warren.edu, or you can call 908-835-2337 and leave a voicemail message for me. I do check my voicemail several times a day, so you can leave a message. Just give me your name, the kind of problem you're having, your phone number, and the best time to call you back. And I will give you a call, and we can work it out over the phone. Or if you want, we can set up a video conference, a one-on-one chat to see how I can help you from there. And I can do screen sharings and things like that to try to help you through any issues you might be having. All right, everybody, I hope you have a great day and you're being safe. Take care.